But yeah, I mean, I think, what she's done with her platform has been absolutely incredible. And, she has an entire fan base that has supported her and what she did at, Maryland and then LSU. Like, obviously, I've played her for a very long time and she's been a tremendous player. So, it's been fun getting to compete against. I think it's been really good for the game. Like, people just love seeing great matchups. But also, at the same time, like, people tune in for these matchups, but then they get to see how amazing these teams are. And then they find new players to support and continue to come back for them, too. So I think that's another benefit of it, honestly.
It's no coincidence why sports fans rave about Caitlin Clark. Apart from the fact that she can play proper basketball, how she conducts herself during interviews tells you how prepared she is not only for the basketball court, but other aspects of the game. First, she has the mindset of an established athlete, judging by the way and manner she delivers her answers, even to slimy questions. You can tell she understands the mind of those she's trying to pull, that is, the main demographic of sport fandom. She has mastered the art of creating the appeal that fans are accustomed to. It looks like she had taken time to study why the WNBA lacked any appeal whatsoever and went to work on it. The Caitlin Clark we see today was built to attract fans, and however she went about doing it is working properly. She clearly learned to deal with mainstream pressure, like, how do you deal with all this noise and still look graceful on and off the court, pretty much regularly in such a toxic environment as the WNBA? In a league where you have to be constantly bitter and angry, she looks extremely happy and comfortable, especially for a rookie. Now on the other side of Rookaville is Angel Reese, who has been fighting to have even a flash from the spotlight that is shone solely on Caitlin Clark, has only managed to remind people of why nobody watches the WNBA. Because every time she's had to say anything relating to Caitlin Clark, her newly found jealousy and resentment for Caitlin Clark comes pouring out like a broken dam, not considering they were best of friends less than a year ago.
It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
During the last matchup between Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky, in a bid to make a defensive play, Angel Reese smacked Caitlin Clark on the head, who was barreling towards the basket. That passage of play sent fans into a frenzy, but what appealed to me was the post-game interview. Here's a difference between a player who understands sports and knows how to appeal to the psychology of fans, and a masculine feminist who doesn't understand sports and how to appeal to fans.
Flagrant foul by Angel Reese. What's going through your mind, and how do you just stay within yourself to this game?
What's going through my mind is I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just part of basketball. It is what it is. Just trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, I mean, it happens. And those free throws, when you have to shoot them with nobody at the line, are kind of hard. So it's a little different than having people at the line. So I was just trying to focus on making those.
Journalists have grown to expect mostly complaints from the WNBA players, which moves them to throwing on complain bait as questions. But Caitlin Clark, being as mature as she is and more prepared for situations like this, knows only to deliver class by giving drama-free basketball responses. On the other hand, when Angel Reese was asked about her foul on Caitlin Clark, she opted to respond with a little bit of drama by complaining about being the victim.
For inside, I think we were playing really hard. I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle, but...
Classic WNBA player response. Playing the victim in a situation where you are clearly the aggressor when you should be playing basketball. Totally evading accountability altogether and using certain referees' missed calls as justification to hurt an opponent. Regardless of the intention behind the tackle, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but Angel Reese's previous actions relating to Caitlin Clark has got people to believe she committed that foul out of spite.
First, let me clarify something. Angel Reese should not be suspended for that foul. Let me dispute that wild notion that has been circulating on social media. It was a basketball play. Let me get ahead of that. Now, what I will also say is, Angel, your actions are starting to speak so loud, we can't hear what you're telling us. Because what you told us, if we go back to March 31st, was simple. You said you think people just take it like we hate each other. And Caitlin Clark and I don't hate each other. I want everybody to understand that. That's what you told us. The problem is your actions vehemently disagree. Because on June 1st, after Kennedy Carter cheap shots Caitlin Clark, you get up and you celebrate the cheap shot of Caitlin Clark. Then fast forward 2 days later, you say, I'll take on the bad guy role. Then fast forward 2 weeks later, you wear Joker shoes. Now, for those that don't know, Joker is obviously a notable villain character in one of the most famous stories that we all like to celebrate in Batman. And then yesterday, you get a flagrant foul by hitting Caitlin Clark in the head. It was a basketball play, family, but what I want is simply for Angel and those that are a little bit ignorant to what has been going on to understand that Angel's actions are starting to speak so loud we cannot hear what is being said. For those that are unfamiliar, let me tell you all, there have been 540 minutes of Chicago Sky basketball. Pay attention to this detail. 540 minutes of Chicago Sky basketball, of which Caitlin Clark has played 74 minutes against the Sky. The Sky only have 2 flagrant fouls all season. Y'all want to know who the 2 flagrant fouls are on? Caitlin Clark. So was it a basketball play? Yes, it was. Should she be suspended? Absolutely not. But if you've only played 540 minutes of basketball, and of those 540, 74 have been against Caitlin, you only got 2 flagrants, and they happen to be against Caitlin, I don't think it's coincidence. I think there might be causation and for sure correlation.
Now the lamestream media, after losing their last bit of credibility for years ago, have managed to offer their regular divisive narrative by making out Caitlin Clark's popularity to be all about race. Her whiteness has nothing to do with it. The fans know what they want, nothing more.
The face of the league is now Caitlin Clark.
If we didn't know better, we'd think Caitlin Clark was the only white girl in the entire league. Prominent players like Sabrina Ionescu and Diana Taurasi are white, and they have been around for some time. These lot get regular coverage and praise from the traditional WNBA community. I'm sure you're wondering why they have never received the same treatment as Caitlin Clark if the issue is really about being white.
There's a broader issue here that can't be escaped, and that is this. She is a white young lady, and she's been a magnet in a way that has benefited the league in ways that others have not, even though their efforts have been worthy and deserving of being as celebrated, if not even more celebrated. And it's a reminder that no matter how far we believe that we have advanced as a society, there's still such a long way to go, because in the end, if you're white, you're bright, you're right, and as a result, the shine comes your way in the eyes of a lot of people in America.
Is it just me, or does it look like Stephen A. Smith was reading a script concocted by some woke Hollywood scriptwriter? There's no way he believes what he said, no way. How could you sit there and talk as though all of a sudden you don't know why Caitlin Clark has been able to draw so much attention? Judging by your demeanor while spewing that trash, it's easy to see that powers that be have put a call through. Stephen A. Smith has officially registered with the Association of American Professional Victims despite being paid over $10 million yearly. This fake activism makes them look stupid. It's becoming a cringe fest right now. Now, I've got questions. If the whole world, including African Americans, are gravitating towards the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, would it not be that she offers something different from whatever anyone else in the WNBA has ever offered, that resonate with actual sports fans? And why is it so hard for the WNBA to realize that people actually would pay to watch the league if the product is appealing enough? How are they failing to capitalize on this rare opportunity? How are they managing to take a loss in a win-win situation? With the rhetorical question out of the way, let's talk some reality.
Reality is coming.
The reason the WNBA has been on life support since its inception is they are trying to sell their brand to a female audience, which is why the league is 80% drama and 20% basketball. They have refused to understand that. Majority of women don't care about sports, and the ones who do are mainly interested in the actual sport, not the excessive drama and a bunch of pathological complainers. In all of this negativity, I've managed to find some positives. 1. They should have no reason to complain about anything anymore. It's obvious they never wanted any of the things they complained about not getting. 2. The WNBA has finally revealed to everyone that they are not a sports league. At best, they would pass for a league of extraordinary angry women. Caitlin Clark is an actual basketballer, and she's always looking joyful, which of course is why the bitter ones don't want her around. But regardless of all the hate she's receiving, she won't fold. She was made for this.
I was bullied, but
so
that's in the book. That's not, we go into that a little bit in the arena, but yeah, I was, and things that I had to go through now, people will be canceled for saying back then.
So when you see like a Caitlin Clark, what advice would you have maybe for her?
I just love that she tries to stay grounded, and she says she doesn't. What did she say? She doesn't have a social. She doesn't look at her social, and I get it. I don't either, and I think it's so important to continue to do what she's doing, and no matter what other people do, then if people are negative, it's because they can't do what you do, basically, and hopefully she'll continue to do what she's doing.